PWM 프로투어 지난 이야기. 지난 5월 14일 뜨거운 관심 속에 막을 올린 PUBG 원페어 마스터즈 개막전. 지난 파일럿 시즌의 우승팀 OPGG 헌터스와 최고의 인기팀 클라우드9 등 화제의 팀들이 속한 A조와 B조의 경기가 펼쳐졌는데요. 광활한 사막 미라마에서 시작된 대결.
3명을 혼자서 막 하는 거잖아요. 나머지
기다리고 있었어요. 콜드.
유독 PWM만 오면 강한 모습을 보여주는 OPGG 헌터스. 콜드 선수의 슈퍼 플레이에 힘입어 1라운드 치킨 디너의 주인공이 되었습니다. 이어진 2라운드 미라마를 휩쓴 전투의 신 RS.
나오는 선수들을 다 잡고 있어요.
자, RS의 김철이 선수 브레이크를 먼저 한번 건드렸습니다. 양쪽에서
전투에만 집중하는 눈길이 이렇게 무섭습니다. 2라운드의 우승은 전투의 신 아프리카 프릭스 RS가 차지했네요.
두 번째 라운드를 종료시킵니다.
그리고 에란겔에서 펼쳐진 후반전. 앞서 OPGG 헌터스와 아프리카 프릭스 RS의 2강 구도를 깬 어벤져스가 등장하는데
진짜 멋있는 모습.
저는 오늘 뛰었습니다.
와서 보고 쏘면 되는 거 이렇게.
제드
3라운드에서 무려 17킬을 거두며 순식간에 3위로 성장하는 액토즈 스타즈 레드. 이어진 마지막 라운드. 랭킹 상위권 팀들이 모두 초반 탈락하며 경기는 미공으로 빠져들었는데요.
나옵니다. 로커스. 한 번에 못 잡으면 2대1이 되는 거예요.
3쿼드의 불리함을 극복하고 나이트 울프가 마지막 우승을 차지했지만 1, 2라운드 엄청난 킬스코어와 점수를 쌓아놓은 아프리카 프릭스 RS가 PWM 프로투어 개막전의 최종 승자가 되었습니다. 그리고 이어진 데이 2. 최고의 기세를 올리고 있는 강팀들이 총출동한 죽음의 조의 대결이 펼쳐졌는데요. 넥슨 아레나를 가득 채운 팬들의 뜨거운 함성과 시작된 첫 번째 라운드. 경기 초반에는 BSG 루나와 팀 카카오TV의 선전이 눈에 띄었는데요. 하지만 미라마에서는 역시 이 팀이 강했습니다. 후반 폭발력을 보여주며 1라운드 승리를 가져가는 젠지골드. 2라운드에서는 앞서 강력한 교전을 선보였던 BSG 루나의 피지컬이 다시 한번 폭발했는데요. 1, 2라운드에서 BSG 루나가 기록한 킬수는 무려 21킬. 비록 치킨은 뜯지 못했지만 1위의 자리를 차지합니다. 이어진 3라운드 미라마에서는 부진했던 젠지 블랙과 오젠 엔투스 에이스가 조금씩 선전하기 시작했는데요. 하지만 예상 외의 복병 등장. WGS 아레나가 15킬을 거두며 결국 2위와 225점의 점수 차로 1위를 차지했습니다. 그리고 마지막 4라운드 WGS 아레나의 초반 탈락으로 BSG 루나와 맥스 틸메드가 1위의 고지를 차지할 기회를 잡았지만 아쉽게도 하위권에 머무르며 죽음의 조 데이2의 우승은 WGS 아레나에게 돌아갔습니다. 블록버스터급 액션과 치열한 순위 싸움이 펼쳐졌던 첫 주차. PWM 프로투어는 이제 막 시작됐는데요. 앞으로 4주간 이어질 프로팀들의 차원이 다른 승부 계속해서 기대해주세요.
Welcome everybody to more of the PWM Pro Tour 2018 Season 1 here at SPO TV. My name is Valdez. With me is Joel, Sophie. As always, you guys get to look at our Korean casters as well as we were showing you guys the names of the Chinese casters. It's an all-inclusive squad here. How are you feeling today, Joel?
Doing all right. I just came back from the PSS finals that happened 2 days ago, and got to see, what the teams were really up to these past few days, because we were talking about the unexpected teams kind of rising to the top for the PSS finals, and the kind of the teams that we've been looking at the top of the rankings kind of fallen down to the bottom of the standings for that specific day. So, for today's game, we're back to PWM, where some other teams have been more stellar than others in terms of the first days of performance, but we're coming into week 2, see if they can continue to perform. We're going to see the bottom teams trying to make a comeback here as well.
Yeah, I mean, you only have 3 days to do it if you're trying to fight. Of course, spread out into 4 groups here, Group A, B, C, and D. You got to face all the other groups, and you got to try to do your best to get up on top. The last time we saw that, Africa Freaks Aries was able to take the top spot from Group A, I believe, or at least from the first day. And then, of course, the other team that I forget, WGS Arena, rather. Still getting used to these names here, guys. It's my 3rd day on the PUBG cast, but WGS Arena also able to net the first spot on our 2nd day.
And really just goes to show you that African Freaks Aries and OPGG Hunters, who did come 1st and 2nd on that first day of broadcast, our opening day of PWM, showed that, the teams that we expected to do well have really shown up and truly came out to play, and showed that really just all about the resilience they had to kind of keep their mentality cool and just make sure they knew what it took to get the wins, and we saw that from the 2 teams from that. But coming to Wednesday, WGS Arena and BSG Luna as well, those teams that really just came out of nowhere, just seeming like they weren't really the top teams that we've been looking at throughout the months, as we had the PKL Pro Tours in the past. But see how it does. But total rankings, as we can see here.
Going to take a look, as I was saying before, WGS Arena and Africa Freaks Aries up in the top spot for their relative days, and then BSG Luna, as well as OPGG Hunters near the top. You'll notice that some of the bigger names we had here, such as Gen G, just sitting in the middle, 10th and 11th spot for both of their teams. Then, of course, Cloud9, they're not on this screen, they're on the next screen. Another team that's got a lot of fans.
So this is A, B, C, D, all 4 groups here that really had 1 days of performance, and over the 4 matches they played in Monday and Wednesday, this is their total scoreline. We see certain teams at the top here, currently right in the middle. This is going to the bottom 20, completing out the 40 teams in total.
Yeah, and you'll notice, as I said before, Cloud9 down towards the bottom. Also, the Kongdu teams not doing too well, both Ghillie Suit and Red Dot down at 35th and 36th spot. If you guys were watching PSS finals on Saturday, I believe that was, you notice that RG Centurion, they were in about 17th spot here after the first day, but they were able to take the victory on that day.
Really showed that anyone can win a game of PUBG, especially when scores are compiled within a day's worth of performance, talking about just 5 rounds in that PSS finals to decide the winner. We saw that RG Centurion was the best team out of that day, but we do have PWM where we're compiling the scores over multiple weeks, and that means the more consistent teams, the teams that don't necessarily come out as a chicken dinner winner, but mostly about trying to come in at top 5 most of the games they play. Those are the teams that can be rewarded with the highest standings once we do get the end of the PWM season.
Yeah, you guys will notice here in our kill ranking and down but not out, the knocked rankings, if you will, ISCO is up towards the top from BSG Luna. They got 2nd in their group, or rather on the day that they played, but still so many kills coming out from this very aggressive team. You'll notice also that ISCO is here at 2nd place on the damage rankings.
Just means that they've been doing all the fighting to get through the situation they want to get past, instead of just wavering around, trying to just go around and run away from the situation. ISCO and the rest of the team from BSG Luna, they have been all about the aggression to make sure once the path has been decided, they don't care if any team is right in front of them. They're going to go through it and just full throttle all over the teams that are right in front of it. It doesn't matter if it's the best teams in the league or if it's the worst teams in the league. They're just going to go forward and try to get the kills in process to gain their chicken dinner.
Yeah, and for today's matchup, day 3 of PWM, it will be Groups A and Group C. So some of the teams you'll notice here, Nightwolf having some fun times. They were able to win a round on, I believe that was last Monday, the last time. Also WGS Arena, the winners from our 2nd day, Taking a look towards the Africa Freaks, but we only got Fatal in this lineup, actually. No Ares, so the second team in the Africa Freaks lineup.
Just means that Africa Freaks Fatal, they want to pull off something strong, kind of reminiscent of what we saw from Ares last week around, and could very well see them in the top of the standings for today's matches. It is Group A and C. Just combining those two groups of 10s all together, we're going to get Cloud9 back again, see if they're going to show up for today's matches, because last week around, it's been just an abysmal performance that we really want to avoid from them.
Yeah, you'll notice they're down there in the bottom right, and now they're gone. But taking a look at the PC bong that we have set up here from what seems like a drone cam. I'm not exactly sure what they're using to record this, but it's kind of cool to see all the players lined up in a row. Taking a look at Nightwolf here, the three-man squad.
Yeah, look at that.
Still looking for a fourth. I was thinking maybe, Joel, you could hop on the line up there.
That just means you have to solo cast, and I don't want to have you go through that burden. And
yeah.
See some of the, okay, they're doing something here. It's the keyboard. These are the real keyboard warriors, if you've noticed.
Yes, definitely. Not sure what the third guy is doing his keyboard there, but they're certainly having fun with it. I didn't know exactly which team that was, actually, as I couldn't see the logo. Bit unfortunate, but I'm sure some of you guys out there know those guys. So, taking a look at some of the rankings here, WGS Arena, of course, getting first on their day, Nightwolf getting 8th. And look at the difference in the kills here, 33 to 13. And definitely the biggest thing that stands out to me here.
The 8th and 1st is not that big of a difference when you talk about 20 teams being playing on the day. And Nightwolf's still way up there, but it just shows that WGS Arena gotten a lot to do with the damage chart in terms of DBNOs and also the kills and the frags that came through. They got to where they did by killing off their enemies in the track of their victories that they had, and just means that the Lambertan and the rest of WGS Arena showed that compared to the Sato and the rest of the three, the members of Nightwolf, they kind of went through the passive way of trying to get to the wins, and they went to a good positioning and just to strategize around where everybody else was and got the wins where it was needed. But WGS Arena showed that they weren't really afraid of fighting through to get to the success they did. And Lambertan and the rest of the WGS Arena seems like they're really just feeling to bring on their aggression as the kind of the new team that we haven't really kept track of so far.
Yeah, they had that crazy win in one of the games where they were able to take out a couple of members, I think 3 members of Genji Black with 1 grenade, or at least get them extremely low and then finish them off. I believe they finished that round with about 15 kills in total. Just 2 members. One guy got 8 and one guy got 7, and they just crushed him. It was crazy. So definitely deserving the respect that they're beginning to get after getting first on the day.
I mean, it is one day, though, Valdez, and it's important to remember we got many more days to compile our results and to get the points all together to see who the best team is, because right now we're going to get WGS Arena again. It's a team that we haven't heard of too much in previous PKL Pro Tours. That means that today's game, can WGS Arena just replicate the performance they had in last week and show us they are really a team that was worth the contention?
Yeah, well, as we always say here on the desk, Joel, it's all about consistency. You can do well on one day, but you got to show up every round on the day, but then also every day that you play. So maybe after this first great day, they gain some confidence and they can move into the next day saying, hey, we actually won a chicken dinner amongst this crazy competition in the groups of death, as SpoTV called them. Maybe we can do it here up against Group A. You
just have to be careful that confidence does not turn into complacency. You always feel overconfident at times that whenever you do have a really good one day, the next day sort of falls to the opposite end of the ladder when you're talking about you feel so confident that you can just bring that aggression where it's needed in the late game when you need to put that extra aggression to make sure you get past your opponents to get the victory. But when you feel like you can be so confident that you bring that same action to the early game, that's when really the trouble begins, because you start picking unnecessary fights and fights that you can definitely just avoid and just let them go. And sometimes you just feel so confident that you can just be anyone at any time of the day, but that's not how PUBG works. You have to be able to strategize around your current situation, kind of around where everybody else is on the map, and you have to know that information beforehand before you decide to put any action.
That's definitely true. I mean, I would like to call it the Actos Stars Red effect, right? They show up one day and we're like, holy hell, these guys are so good. I remember that one match on Erangel TPP where they just crushed 3-4 teams in a row right up against the fence.
In the next round.
And then the next round, they get out in like 19th place. I'm like, what happened to these guys? Why can't they be a little bit more consistent?
In the fourth round, it really was that you talk about day after day that confidence can turn into complacency. But ActiStars, right, it was more extreme too, round after round.
Yeah.
The third round, they had just a wonderful performance that they weren't really in a situation to win the chicken dinner third round, but they did everything right in that late game to make sure they maneuver around the different players to know exactly what the position they had to take to get the win. It was masterfully done. Now, they were so proud of that. They thought they can do that in round 4 again, but they did it at the wrong time. At the early game, just picking out a garage, just rushing a garage building out of no information whatsoever and thinking that you can just rush in and just destroy everyone and just keep that house for yourself. Definitely did not happen in ActiStars Red. Kind of showed once again they're not a team of consistency quite yet, but they still got more opportunities.
Yeah, so guys, enough of the podcast. Let's get into game number 1, TPP on Miramar. So here we do go. Of course, TPP on Miramar, as I mentioned before. Genji Gold, one of the teams I didn't mention, actually, that is coming in here today. They are in Group C, so they do come out to play. And with Cloud9 also coming in, I believe they're in Group A. Yes, they are. We have a lot of fans here. We got the whole Cloud9 cheering group, the cheering squad together, and, of course, all the Eska fans. And the other members of Genji Golds, all those fans are here to do.
To the defense of Genji Gold, I believe that Simpson, Loki, and Claytor have at least about 10% of the fans that Eska does.
Yeah.
And that would be impressive in itself.
Well,
Eska's a hugely popular player, not just in PUBG, but in previous esports titles in the past. But just goes to show that, Genji Gold, still a lot of expectation behind this team to make sure they want to just perform for the fans at least, but I think it's more important to perform for themselves, to make sure they stay as a top team. And when they showed good performance, it has been quite impressive. But once they falter, it just kind of reminds us back of the old Genji Gold that wasn't really impressive before their renaming scheme. And that just means that Genji Gold, along with Cloud9, for that same reason, I would not want to recommend they play just for the fans. They have to really worry about playing for themselves and playing for their own pride on the line.
Yeah, would have to agree. We're taking a look at the members jumping out of the plane right now. Already Genji Gold heading towards Impala. That is where they like to be. Cloud9 heading up towards the middle of the map, which is generally where they like to stay. Max still mad. Not having a bad PSS. They're going to go up towards El Azahar.
There you go, and we're going to see the players moving through. Got about 3 teams, I believe, in Los Leones, and Curate is going to be right above the city, where the other 3 members of Actus Indigo are still there. So around that threshold, and Team Clux and also Nightwolf as well. Kind of interesting teams that we have to keep upon just to make sure that we all know that Team Clux is the amateur team, meaning no professional backing behind their location. And look at the circle here, opening up.
Yeah, we had a bunch of Miramar circles up towards the middle and the right side of the map, but now this is totally different. So we're certainly going to get a new look at where these teams are going to go here, and not going to be too good for Max Still Mad, for, of course, Genji Gold, all the teams that like to start up in the top side and the right side of the map.
Look at WGS Arena, the previous first place finisher of last week's matches. They're still on their parachutes, trying to get to Torre Almada. Not going to have many minutes to farm that out, as we see the timer now encroaching 2 minutes. And they're going to have to get a move on from the northern eastern side that they are in, just to try to get to El Pozo, which is the northern extent of where this first circle landed up.
Maxfield VIP, it looks like they're on a straight shot towards El Pozo, not wasting any time. They were able to pick up 2 vehicles very quick off the start, and especially with that very southern plane path we had, it's going to be quite nice for them, especially because El Pozo is in the circle.
And Maxo Mad, their sister team to Maxo VIP we were talking about earlier, to have these damage shards listed up for them. Uri has seen the least of it, but we're going to get to the action first. Right on with the Uzi here.
Dong, or rather Curious, taking a ton of damage here. Hungeldong with the Uzi, trying to get on top of him. Only 3 more shots. The pistol in the back, trying to get the kill, but he cannot in the end. Unfortunately, pistol versus Uzi, we all know who wins that fight.
Maybe after this, the latest patch we had with the pistols getting a bit stronger, probably still now have won that.
Yeah, I mean, he also had a helmet to a level 1, which would have helped out so much against any pistol headshots. So, very well done. Good start for Danawa.
Just goes to show that you have to be always conscious of your current location and to be aware of the surroundings that you are. And I think it was more due to Kongdoretta being a little bit careless, kind of feeling too safe about their position, thinking that no one's going to be really around. But Danawa, a team that really has came out of the trenches there, looking good on that first kill they got with Honggutong there.
Nightwolf, for taking a look at them. They're starting in Los Leones, and I actually like that strategy when you've only got 3 people. If you have that 4th, it can be a little bit cluttered if you're trying to only farm the left side of Los Leones, where generally you'll see 3 or maybe even 4 teams land. So, like the idea. They did, of course, have that chicken dinner off the backs of these 3 members. And that 4th spot still waiting to be filled. Joel, what are we going to do about that?
Probably have to wait till next season till we get the 4th member of Nightwolf. As we're talking about them farming out Los Leones, we're going to see them kind of on the left edge, not really in the city area, just trying to make sure they don't invade any other full squad teams, so that you don't want to irritate a team that has more members than you do at this early game. Nightwolf just wants to call it fair, just get what they need and try to move on from there.
OPGG Rangers, we're looking at $4 OK. Famous meme here in Korea. Joel was kind enough to show me that. You could probably find it if you search it on YouTube. Just search $4 OK. Should come up, but either way, he is the scout here, taking a look at Afrika Freaks Fatal. Just trying to catch Jaden off guard. This is, of course, a lot easier in TPP, where you can see him coming.
He's like $4 OK. He has the M16 with the 4 times going. He's going to just go burst it out. No problem there. As we see the AKM to finish him off and $4 OK. Definitely had that ready, and Jaden was unaware of the situation that was at hand and did not even hear $4 OK just encroaching in like that.
Yeah. Strategies like that are actually quite nice in TPP, right? He had no idea, Jaden, that he could come through. Shadow is trying to strike back onto Eureka, but it looks like he will get away with just a sliver of health left on his vehicle.
Could have been very dangerous for Eureka. Of course, C9 have been suffering in the past. Oh, you don't want to do that. That's going to get a lot lower.
He's
exactly what we're talking about.
Oh, boy. I think when you get that close to dying, you should either slow down or get out of your vehicle, because you're not going to solve it. Dingception is going to go down.
Oh, man, we're seeing the repetition of what we saw in the first week. Early exits of key members of Cloud9. Definitely isn't a surprise at this point that kind of become routine now after week. Yeah. Cloud9, this is the biggest ways they disappoint their fans, and it's not about pulling up a good fight against their opponent. It's about just getting out in unnecessary situation. Cloud9 is going to lose their 2 members in the early game.
Yeah, and the rest of them very split up. Suck and Catch were nowhere to be found. Dingception is all the way straight in the middle of the circle with the vehicle, with the van. You would expect, hey, I've got some armor, I can set up some kind of post here in the middle of the circle, but just did not happen as he got sniped out of his vehicle.
That doesn't really help your confidence boost either as Cloud9, when you can't really make your strategy work out, when you don't know exactly what to do in the next game, because when your first strategy that you brought onto this round, it doesn't become a successful one. You come into the next round thinking, what are we supposed to do? What is the next strategy that we're supposed to take that maybe works out better than the other? But it seems like the Inception and boys have been trying to figure it out for weeks, but really hasn't come to a good conclusion so far.
Either in the rest of his squad trying to take some shots at Indigo, who just desperately wants to drive by and not get shot down by Sandbox. He's only taking a little bit of damage. This vehicle at about half health, but it is getting lower. He'd like to get past this hill and join his buddies, and he will join the rest of his buddies, including Juan.
Juan and the boys, I like to call him Entis Force. the lesser of the entists, we usually like to refer to them as, but they have shown good forms in the past and did make it over to the PSS finals from 2 days ago, but they did end up at last, 20th place out of 20.
Curate in a really bad spot is going to be taken out here. Freak of Freaks Fatal, after losing one member, Jaden, they're like trying to get revenge on anyone that they'll see. Already picking up 3 kills in total for their squad here on the left side of Tumasera.
It's not even Indigo's fault that, you know, they're getting shot from Freak of Freaks Fatal, who's so angry just losing Jaden early in the game. It's nothing to really do with them, but still gotta have to be careful. You don't know what the situation is with every other team that suffered their own respective losses in their early game. Goes to Detonator, of course, a team that has very much benefited from this first circle. They started out at Valle del Mar, and with this circle right around that crosshair, not much trouble really needed for the rest of these guys to try to find their positions a bit earlier, allowing them a good position to make sure they can maneuver around.
It doesn't look like Detonator was able to get the drop, unfortunately. It was very close. I'll hold that thought as we're trying to shoot down WNV, who pops out here. Valve able to knock MSI already. WNV in a ton of trouble. They're going to blow up. 2 members do go down. Oh, okay, one of them is going to be knocked and finally does go down. As, well, these Chinese teams here in PWM have just not been having much luck.
9-7 in April from WNV. Did not have much luck there, and they do go down in a circumstance where I feel like they were split up a little bit too preemptively. They find themselves losing the one half of their team with the other 2 down. Just trying to drive away here. Still looking at OPGD Rangers though, trying to take some shots. I see a lot of early kills here, early action kills. And something that we really weren't used to in the first day, but in the second day, the aggression is really on for a lot of these teams.
Yep, the blue finally coming in. Curious about the loot from the teams that we mentioned before. We're going to struggle to get into the circle. Speaking of which, WGS being gatekept a little bit by Astric here. Going to throw down some smokes, try to drive away. It looks like it's only Sinone, actually, as 2 other members are driving behind him. How can he get out of this one is the real question.
Yeah, that's the question of WGS Arena, the first place finisher of last week's games. Can he do it again? And Sinone outside the blue now, just have to just run in. All the other 3 members of WGS have already gotten their vehicles, tries to get on, but probably going to be looking for a hitchhike very soon here.
Yeah, he wants to get in there and notice that he switched for the buggy. His original van was probably getting low on health. Should be fine. It's only the first circle. Just needs to get in to join his team. We'll see if he can do exactly that. We're taking a look at Clux Aries here on the left. Their position in the circle is really nice, especially after that second one.
Just goes to a Tumasera-centric circle there. Mountain River right on the tip of the northern end. Valle del Mar just barely in, but it's not going to be too reliable in the way the teams can maneuver around. Just means that Detonator, who started off in Valle del Mar, has to move just a little bit more. Should they get to their next position? Shouldn't be that difficult, but it's about this team here, WGS Arena, who just came in to this first circle. Now sees the second one open up, but has little information on the southward path where they're supposed to be moving past. And look at Astric here, just a little bit outside of her. You can see the tip of it there on the graphics, and let's see if they can make it in. Like I said, it's the second circle. Shouldn't matter too much in terms of damage you can receive outside.
You'll notice how carefully they're entering the blue, too. They're willing to eat that damage just to be safe. Just to be safe that, you know, WGS doesn't stop and try to snipe them as they come in for some free kills.
Yeah.
I really like that strategy when you're in a position like that towards the top of the circle. It's going to be hard for them, though, because they're very far away from the second circle.
You know, I like teams that take it a little bit more carefully in the early game. I think that's really highly important in the way you get. You're just in the vehicle, and
Nalbin just asleep at the wheel, if you will, decides that he's given up as gets sniped in the back of the head here. Juanita on top of the hill.
Reminds me of my days when I had to take a long trip on the drive and went to a rest area to take a couple of minutes of nap, and it's Nalbin right there. Obviously, the ending wasn't the same for me as he got shot on that one.
Yeah. Fortunately, we have Joel alive and well on the cast.
I'm still alive.
It's not just a hologram. Look at Ilgo trying to come from behind.
Yeah.
They want to save their member who's being shot on the hill. Coming from behind, trying to get some shots down, but Ilgo actually loses the firefight. 1v2 will go down.
This is a fight that Detonator's picking on here because they like this position that Maxwell VIP has and has to steal it away from them. But if you like in this high ground, they can pick up this fight and try to get a nice win off of it. Even losing one member should be good enough position for Detonator. Feel safe in this next position here.
Yeah, they're gonna wipe the entire squad, and the first one that goes down is Maxwell VIP. A very nice strategic move from Detonator. There was no cover from Maxwell VIP. And they do go down.
Good decisiveness coming from Detonator because they knew they had the good position on the high ground. And that position that Maxwell VIP previously had was a good one to really take. And not many teams can invade you from that position, especially talking about most teams coming from the east side. And as one of the few teams coming from the west, Detonator feels good about that win there.
Ooh, Loki getting knocked here as the fangirls cry out. They're unhappy about that one, but look at Team Clux just challenging gold here. Eska trying to run over, help out his teammate if possible.
Trying to stay alive as much as they can. Genji Gold, of course, a team that has raised their hopes for the fans and for themselves, more importantly, over the past few weeks, but has really disappointed in PSS finals. We put their reference on there. Of course, it's 1 day of events where 5 rounds does not really determine your total output as in terms of your team skills, but Genji Gold was disappointing in that big stage just about 2 days ago, and they want to do better. Of course, today can be the start of that new beginning.
Looks like Loki is fine and well. He gets rezzed up by Eska. They've got that little ridge there to run back to their compound. Meanwhile, Team Clux not in a bad spot either. They're on top of this big hill. Great position in the circle. We're about to have our second circle close up entirely. And Clux not giving up on gold just yet.
You see how careful they're playing this one. Valdez, as you see, the rest definitely came up, but this next circle here, just on the edge of Chumacera.
Yeah, both of those teams we were just watching, they are going to have to move.
Yeah.
Notice that C9, they're still in this game, actually, right in the center of the new circle, so not a bad spot, even though they only have 2 members left over, Suck and Catch.
I mean, circle center position is kind of more viable when you have all 4 members to defend out across all 360 degrees around your angle, but 2 members, C9 is still trying to greed over the central part of this circle, wherever it may be, and gonna have a hard time if they find a lot of teams trying to encroach that same area, but still looking at DPG and also OPGG Ranger, who have had a pretty good early game leading up to this mid game here.
Coming in to challenge Danawa. We do have OPGG Rangers up on the hill taking some shots at them, but looks like they've got 3 vehicles in a nice little spot in the circle now, so they should be okay for now. Meanwhile, Astric in one little hut.
It is pretty risky to have that position right there, as you see, all 3 players just around that little hut, but they're at the northern side of the circle at the moment where not many teams are in, and many teams are kind of encroaching the southern part of the circle. This means where the most action will be, probably in this next rotation here.
Yeah, we're getting the big zoom out here, just from the middle of the circle out towards the west. You'll notice that Afrika Freaks fatal after losing Jaden. They pick up 3 kills, and now they're in a good spot towards the middle of the circle.
See, the teams are really encroaching the Chumacera, kind of a safety point, but C9, like I said earlier, they have to defend out their position, and here's one of the tasks here.
Yeah, Stone being the scout, the attacker for his team. They want this compound, and the rest of their team, MK, is going to join up with them. Of course, one of our Chinese teams trying to challenge Cloud9 currently.
Cloud9 did a good job at least scaring away the 4 members of MK who could easily defeat Al if they do pull up a team fight. On the side of NK, though, they just don't know how many members of Cloud9 are going to be in that defensive position. If it is a little bit more than 3 or more, then C9 just kind of pulling that fake, just making it feel like they have a lot more members than they actually do.
Team Clux coming from the south, they've moved away from Genji Gold. They're actually up towards Detonator now, as Genji Gold have taken more of an eastern, southeastern spot in the circle. Team Clux in the southwest side.
Yeah. You see how Detonator, after beating out their opponents earlier in this game, find themselves in a good pathing route for them to just comfortably just roam in to this next location. And this means that the early games, when you talk about that frag being picked, if there's a good reason for it, it's always a good one to fight. But this next circle, not going to have many compounds for the team's safety on this next rotation.
Yeah, we could definitely have a lot of hill fighting down towards the west side of this new circle. And we did get a nice cheer from the crowd as Cloud9 is still in that circle, and they've so far held off any efforts by MK to charge in. We haven't got much of a look at Lunatic High Flux. I don't even know if they fought anyone just yet in this game, but they're just slowly moving as a group, 4 vehicles in the circle now as well.
Okay, we're getting this rotation. C9's Hug trying to get some kills here.
We also got another fight as Max still mad up against OPGG Rangers. $4 OK getting low. Nice grenade though. He's not going to hit anyone just yet. Finally knocks down Unjin. Thought perhaps he was far enough away from that grenade, but he was wrong.
Might not have just heard it, and I'm going to find a headshot here.
Oh boy. Rijang, very risky spot there, right on top of the biggest hill, and just gets sniped from abroad.
I like how OPGG Rangers kind of widen their position to maneuver their members around, so that you just can't be spotted on all angles when you're the side of Nightwolf, just trying to rush in for this last member here.
Sertong all alone. Can he do it? Trying to knock down Magne. He will, but he will be killed in the end. 1v3, as you mentioned, not going to be good. Team Clutch now up against MK, struggling just a bit. Aries goes down, and Junsu taking a lot of fire from somewhere else as well.
Yeah, MK was trying to find a Cloud9, but had to back away and finds Clux in here. Now just going to have a field of their own, trying to get some kills, and Junsu goes down in the knock as well.
Yeah, Freak Freaks Fatal have another angle on them, so Team Clux just not having some good luck. But Gold's able to get a couple of knocks here on Entis Forest. One more Emble will do it. There's also Indigo that Eska himself is fighting against.
Just casually fighting multiple teams at the same time. Genji Gold feeling good, and Hyoil likes to get some head accessory, getting ready for this next fight.
He sees the vehicle, trying to cook the grenade, bounce it off, but there's no one there.
Oh.
Hilly does go down, actually, to Esko, who gets a second kill. And the action doesn't stop for this Genji Gold member, as there's more vehicles coming in.
Just action magnet for right now, Genji Gold, who has to fight against so many other teams at the same time. Actus Indigo, oh my goodness, Eska!
That was sick. The two-tap on the head gets him another knock. He is flashed, though, right now. He's got to back off. Mad Cow trying to come from the left side.
Sees him.
Yeah, he does see him, trying to snipe him down. He's in the blue now. Mad Cow in a lot of trouble. Eska holding him off well for now. Going to back off to his teammates.
Mad Cow sees the inferiority of his shots when compared to Eska's shot, but let's see Loki trying to get the rest of the Actus Indigo here.
Just trying to drive by right now, but down he will go. As well, 3 members of Genji Gold shooting at you means you're not going to pass by easily.
Really clears up the path now for Genji Gold to make this rotation here, because they're in the circle now, and just really good for Genji Gold to fight back against any team who wants to encroach this radius of area here. And just includes Actus Indigo, with Macau being the last man surviving after that fight. Really went one-sided there.
Oh, it's going to get shadowed down, and Roa is going to be shot as well.
Jesna.
Lambo on TPP spots a Freak of Freaks Fatal in a tiny little building and punishes him for it.
Jesna just runs away here, and he's not going to continue on this fight, knowing there are multiple members of WGS still on the hunt here.
Oh boy. He drives straight into MK, wins the fight against Cold Rain.
Okay.
Can he take out the others? The answer is no. They'll just take 1 kill, or the rest of them do go down, but MK themselves now in trouble. Ocean, the only one left available. Eska, though, being shot from somewhere else.
Genji Gold has been bothering, just really bullying MK all game long, and here they are once again, and the AFF goes down to them as well. But really, and when you're the NK side, you keep getting that feed, knowing that Genji Gold was always in the back of your head. Gonna have a hard time trying to just maneuver around. They try to run away from them last time, but finds them once again, and Genji Gold with a full team, still looking as aggressive as ever.
Actos Stars Indigo, their last hope is Mad Cow. He's been just meting up outside the circle. He's got a full team of Genji Gold in front of him, so he can't just run through. He's gonna have to find another area. Eska, slight bit of his head poking out, but Cats can't make the shot work.
C9 losing 2 members very early in this game. One of the first kills to go out. going to be up against Genji Gold, 4 members. Wonder if this is the fight they want to pick out, but still looking at WGS here.
Lambutan, they still have 4 members. They've survived for so long. Coming from the top side all the way around the west side now of the circle. Trying to get that kill onto one last member of Kongdu Red Dot, actually Merrill behind the broken down car.
Still have a couple of members for Kongdu Red Dot. Just have to survive it just a little bit longer, but Lunatic Flux been quiet all game. Now trying to see if they have to do some defensive strats to get their way past their next mark here, and they're going to have Asterisk a little bit to their left and Maximad just a little bit inside the circle as well.
Yeah, you said it exactly right. They've been quiet. They haven't been doing much the entire game. 0 kills for the entire squad. They have a fantastic compound, but in the new circle, no guarantee that's going to stay in. We'll see what their next strategy is.
WGS feeling impatient about their position against Kongdu Red that wants to just finish him on, and Sinon is going to be on the front foot here. Trying to find a better location. Go for the kills there. You see that frag grenade connecting towards Merrill. Has to be careful to get. You don't get hit by that. Another one of that.
Look at this circle. That's insane. Only Cloud9 is in the circle, and they're right towards the middle.
You know, Cloud9, after having just a dismal, just talking about it last week, coming out in last place, has been rewarded. Even if you lost 2 members early in this game, gonna get that really, really nice circle.
Yeah, rewarded, but at the same time, they've got so many different teams all around them taking shots.
Just has to stay still and just wait for the fight to end out and pick up the remaining pieces. For Suck and Catch.
You notice that both of them have taken the only 2 buildings in the circle.
Yep. Maccal goes down.
Yeah, he was just trying to bleed out for as long as possible. Actostar's Indigo will go out in 11th place.
WGS here, along with Lunatic Flux, have to make the movement. That compound right now they're in, along with that storage place. It's not gonna feel safe enough, but Sandbox looking towards that Genji Gold here.
Oh, they're just charging at him. He wants that grenade. Is it gonna work? He didn't cook it long enough. Another will go down.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if that was the right play to make. Loki gets all the kills by himself, and Suck is gonna have a field day as well.
Genji Gold having a fantastic start to this one. Can they end it? No, he tries to res him up, and down will go Loki. Or rather Clader, as he tries to get the res. Now it's going to be only up to 1 last member as Lambutan just going to take advantage of all these knocks.
Oh, Simpson, you have to stay alive, buddy. 8 teams still remaining. Gonna be the only surviving. He's not going to be able to rest anyone at this point in the game.
Look at Mira just coming on in, trying to take the compounds away from Catch and Suck. Grenade comes out, he spots him. It wasn't cooked long enough, it doesn't look like. Mira going to stay with full health.
Catch cannot give up his position no matter what the stakes are. Getting out of this house will mean an immediate end for Cloud9. Catch definitely knows that and is going to try to stay still as long as he can.
WGS still with 4 members remaining, and they've all gotten the circle now. Certainly one of the teams to continue looking at after their win of day 1 for themselves.
You know how the magnetic force right now of Cloud9 just attracting all these teams from afar, trying to get to this next location. As soon as the other teams find out there's only 2 members of Cloud9, gonna be more than happy to make the invade happen, but the next circle will mean that even Cloud9 with the 2 members, they still have to make a move out. It's gonna be an option for them.
Yeah. For Genji Gold fans, you still got a chance. Simpson stayed alive.
Top 6 right now.
Even though it's 1 guy left over, he can try to just slowly make it into the circle and stay alive. Same with Leclo as well. He's just been out here behind WGS. They have no idea he's there.
Yeah, Leclo is going to be looking towards his position and looking at Kukadas, and going to be all by himself. He's going to be seeing right on the track. He has complete vision. He can decide to shoot any time of the day. Leclo, is he going to risk it, trying to get 1 more kill?
Oh, he's going to grenade onto these 2.
Okay.
Can he land it?
And Kukadas at the same time?
He got Kukadas, and he gets it
everyone!
onto 3 people. Unbelievable.
Oh my God! He gets everyone!
What the hell?
1v4!
Oh my God, Joel, I just lost my mind. Leclo, 4 kills, takes them from behind, and WGS, one of the favorites in this circle, is all taken out by 1 member.
The absolute piece of art right there from Leclo, trying to throw that frag grenade towards the 2 members and getting the 1 on the side. And Sak is going to be on fire as well, trying to defend against Maxomad.
Look at that beast, Simpson. He's trying to just make it into the circle, but he is going to go down. 4 teams left remaining, and Cloud9, they've got a legitimate chance. You look at VZ from Asterix, he doesn't have much.
All of a sudden, this becomes a game of Leclos versus the rest, and it's been a beast that just popped up at this stage here, and top 4 positions right now, and full teams going off left and right, and C9 has just the equal opportunity to win this game against Maxomad.
Leclos, it looks like maybe he's gonna just try to man up. He's got 10 first aid kits. He can just sit here forever.
He looted out 4 members of WGS Arena. He's gonna have a lot of first aid kits to work with. Is he not gonna be spotted? Is he gonna be spotted?
He messed up the timing of his first aid, and also the blue was eventually gonna kill him, so he had to make a move. And unfortunately, after his heroic efforts, he will go down. Now it's Cloud9 versus Maxomad.
2v2 between C9 and Maxomad. Anyone can get this right here. Maxomad has a lot more flexibility in the way he can move around in the open field. C9 has not many exits. They can just exit out and expect it to be seen as soon as they make the exit.
See them laying down smokes for Catch here. Uri just all alone behind a tree, trying to get some vision with the TPP.
This is really important. Hancock and Catch, the one that gets the first knock will probably mean the win for their team. So this Catch and this Hancock situation, this is going to be the most important fight to look at, while Huck and Uri provide the cover for their allies.
They're just keeping eyes on each other. You mentioned before, the position is better for Maxomad, but also the circle is better for them. Both of them have now gotten inside, and C9 have to make the move.
Can Catch be called out? Uri and Hancock is going to be looking towards that direction.
He spotted Uri. He spotted Uri. And now it's only 1 more member behind the car.
But Catch gets knocked out, but he's going to go down as well.
Down he will go. Hancock gets taken out. Cloud9 somehow, some way. Maybe it's all the trash talk we gave him, but they get the chicken dinner in game number 1.
Let's focus on that last team fight. That was the most important thing, of catching out 1 member early would automatically equate to a win for your team. And Cloud9 got Uri with Tuck on the cover there. We talked about Catch and Hancock being the most important fight in terms of that 1v1, but we saw Tuck on the cover. He got the spot onto Uri and got the knock onto him immediately, and you know that Hancock will not have many choices to go for that fight again.
Yeah. You saw the members of Maxomad just going over that last situation, what they could have done better. Just looks like Uri didn't have the angle correct onto Suck, and he just got taken by surprise from behind that tree.
And beside those 2 teams, let's look at the best beneficiary out of that whole match. Was going to be Leclos coming from Clux, the amateur team, who just pulled off a super play we saw earlier. That's going to go on the highlight reel for the rest of the season. Talking about the frag grenade to the left, we're going to see the next match coming up as well.
Yeah, so guys, we'll be with you in about 5 minutes for round number 2.